welcome back. Good to see you on a Sunday morning, and we welcome back for part 2 of our conversation His Excellency, the Governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker. Governor, great to see you. So last week we talked a lot about tax policy or tax bill and competitiveness, how Massachusetts will continue to compete with lower tax states in the coming years and months. If either Maura Healey or Sonia Chang Diaz takes over as governor next January, do you think competitiveness is going to be a priority?
I think competitiveness becomes a priority, whether you go into office thinking it's going to be a priority or not. And I think it's critical for the Commonwealth to continue to take that seriously, especially given what everybody has learned about how small the world can get in a post-pandemic environment. And, you know, there's a ton of data that's starting to come out about how many people in the course of the pandemic moved out of high-cost states and into lower-cost states for obvious reasons. And I guess what I would say, John, is whether you go into that office thinking about competitiveness or not, I think the cold, hard reality of it will hit you when you get there. It's certainly something we pay attention to.
Well, certainly a far-left socialist wouldn't really care about that.
But even someone's got to make the money and generate the revenue, right?
Well, all I'm saying is there are voices on the right in this state who describe Maura Healey, the Attorney General, as a far-left socialist. Do you agree with that?
I've worked with the AG on a number of issues over the course of the past few years, including a ton of time that we spent with her on the Purdue litigation around OxyContin and opioid addiction. And while my politics and hers are certainly different, I would not describe her that way, no.
So in the wake of what appears to be an irreparable rift between you and the state GOP leadership.
It's not irreparable. It's just not great.
How is it reparable?
We'll see. I mean, I haven't...
Okay.
I continue to believe, and I've said this a million times, Massachusetts needs 2 strong parties, and a strong party generates revenue, candidates, support, and a message that sells. And I've said many times that right now the Republican Party's not doing those things.
Well,
but that doesn't mean it can't in the future.
Well, in light of this, you've said you'll spend through your political action committee.
It's not mine. Not mine.
Right, but you will work with...
I do support it,
You
yes.
will work with one you support. You said that this PAC will spend as much as $2 million to support moderate Republican candidates. Is Jeff Deal a moderate?
Most of the money that gets spent through that PAC has historically, and I don't make the decisions about who they choose to spend money on. That's, you know, I can help them, I can support them, I can encourage people to support them, but they make the call. It's mostly been about reps and Senate races, and I think that's actually a good thing.
So you're staying hands off the governor's race then in the Republican Party? Or?
At this point in time, I don't have any interest in getting involved in that
Really?
race. Yeah.
So Chris Doty's out of luck if he hopes you're going to back him.
I'm not planning to get involved in the governor's race at this time, no.
Isn't $2 million kind of chump change when you're talking about multiple races statewide? I mean...
Well, that PAC raised about $2 million in 2020, participated in about 70 or 80 races, and won about 75 of them, so 75% of them. So it's clearly enough to make a difference.